showtime.
Who are these socials?
Taking down the other podcasts one by one.
Who are these socials?
That clip is why people make fun of you.
With Karl
This is all just for the radio.
and Mike.
We don't have business to take care of.
Who are these
We are
socials?
the number one podcast on the internet today.
WATS.
Welcome to a special bonus episode of WATS, the show thousands of people come to answer the age-old question, why is Baylen Dupri hiding those sweater puppies? This is the only podcast that is dedicated to helping women with Tourette syndrome if they're hot. I'm your host, Karl Hamburger. With me, as always, is Mike Geary, a.k.a. Blind Mike. What's up, Mike?
I'm rethinking this whole operation. What a disaster this was. What is TLC doing?
All right, well, we're going to get into all of that. The first thing we always say when we start off our show is thank you, OJ.
Right, of course. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, OJ.
OJ is a generous God.
See, I always do. No matter what show I'm on, I always forget to thank him.
We appreciate OJ for everything that he does. And I want to remind everyone, they can participate in the show as Baylen Dupri, Woke Dad, the Begging Monster, or our biggest rival, Obnoxious John.
Oh, no, he's in there?
He's in there as well for our
yelling at me.
super tip system. Supertip.gg/WATP is where you want to go to get that information. And we do appreciate everyone who supports the show as we go. Now, of course, today is a special wrap-up show of Baylen Out Loud. It just premiered on TLC. We've been following Baylen Dupri since she just had a mere 1 million followers on TikTok. We've been there since the beginning.
We really have.
And now she's a big star. She has her own television show. I do have it queued up here. We can play some clips, but why don't we start off? I assume everyone watched the show tonight. Mike, you have some opinions.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on this show?
a disastrous night of programming.
Oh, no. Okay. What do we got?
It really. So I guess first I'll say, not that we know Baylen, but we know her from what she puts out on social media and everything.
Right.
And what that allows is for us to be able to pick apart all the bullshit. Like, we all already know reality TV is bullshit, but when you actually know a little bit about the person, you can pick apart, like, well, this isn't even close to true. Like, you do, if you just watch a random show, like 90 Day Fiance was on before this.
Oh, my God. I watched the end of that. I was like, this is
Did I?
garbage.
It's
It's
terrible.
unwatchable.
But I'll tell you what, I don't know if they're straight up lying about those people.
Right.
I
I
don't watch
assume
them
they
on
are.
social media every day.
Right. Yeah. I assume that's all fabricated, but sure, I hear what you're saying.
But Baylen has now disorders that she's never had before. All of a sudden, this rule of 3 comes in.
Oh, we've heard that before. We've heard the rule of 3 before.
Not to this degree, where she's literally saying, like, tap the rotisserie chicken, tap the rotisserie chicken, tap the rotisserie chicken. It's not that bad in her videos. Like, we've seen her do things where they're clearly playing it up for the camera in this show, and it's exhausting.
Okay. That's actually where I wanted to start. But you know what? Let me back up real quick. I got ahead of myself. I was so excited to talk about Baylen. I just watched the show. I did a little bit of cleanup, and I'm ready to talk about it. Before we get there, let's start off with some classic banter.
Oh, right.
Now, to discuss the events of the day, Banter is the way to reflect on events of the day. Karl and Blind Mike Banter! Banter!
Now, Mike, you made this clear on Twitter or on X, whatever you want to call it. I'm starting to come around. I might start calling it X,
Yeah.
like the cool kids. That we're doing this up against a football game, not just any football game, a playoff game. It's happening right now.
To be fair to both of us, I guess neither of us thought about it because
No. I don't
Monday
assume
night
Monday
football
night's
games are
gonna be-
relatively new. Like, we just didn't.
Yeah,
occur
it's a
to us.
regular season thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a playoff thing. But it's being played by two teams that annoy the fuck out of me for a very specific reason. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on this and other people's thoughts are. These are two teams that are Halloween costumes. They're the only two teams in the NFL where their helmets look like the thing they are. So the Rams have like the horns on the side as if they're actual rams. And the Vikings have the horns going around as if they're actually wearing Viking helmets.
That's a
and that
very
they're Vikings.
it's a very Seinfeldian observation.
It's lame. I hate it. I hate that shit. It's just like, well, wait a second. Are you an actual animal? Because at least the Cardinals have like a picture of a bird on their helmet. Okay, I get it.
Right. They don't have wings, I guess you're saying.
Well, the Eagles do. Fuck. You know what? There's 3 teams. All right, now I think about it.
Yeah.
There are 3 Halloween costume teams, and they all suck. It's all stupid.
God, the Vikings just fell apart at the end of the year, huh? They were so good all year.
They were phenomenal all year. They had a chance to be the number 1 seed going up against the Lions, and the Lions took them apart. It wasn't even close.
They missed
So
their goal.
now it's like, okay, we got to go on the road, but we're playing the Rams. The Rams. Oh, and they're not even playing at home. They got to go to Phoenix. The LA is blown apart. They get to play this team where their homes are mostly destroyed. We got an easy win here. They're getting their asses kicked. I put a bet on the Vikings for the game -2, and now I have a bet for the second half -6, and they're already down a touchdown in the second half. So this is a disaster.
It's not as bad as what was on TLC, though. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for getting us back to it. Let me bring this up. I don't know if it's going to take our channel down or anything. Hopefully it won't. But here I have Baylen discussing that it's more than just Tourette's syndrome that she has.
Hello. I also have obsessive compulsive disorder, which means I have obsessions or thoughts that turn into compulsions or gestures.
Ladies and gentlemen, how we clean the fridge.
My OCD is worse than my Tourette's. For example, I get the urge to tick the first time, but I get the thought to tick the 2 other times. I do everything in 3s.
Okay. Her OCD is worse than her Tourette's. Now that's saying something because her Tourette's is debilitating.
It's never been the case. I know.
I
It's come up
disagree.
here
She's
and there.
talked about this before, where she has the OCD. She has to do things in 3s. She has to punch
But
herself
she
in
doesn't do
3s.
This is like I have to do literally everything in 3s. Watch her video. She doesn't do that.
That's true. That's true. And she
And
does
they
it on
do
the
shit
show.
maybe one day I can use a pan. We've seen her cook. Like there's no. This is bullshit.
All right. You think that so okay. If you haven't watched the show, I'm sure everyone has, but if you haven't,
Sure.
What we get to learn is Baylen and her 2 parents. They live in West Virginia. Her younger sister, who's 19, has moved away, but she comes home to visit from time to time. Her oldest brother is 23, graduated college, but he's back at home because he doesn't have a job. And then she's got 3 other younger brothers. Right. And the one thing I learned about Baylen Dupri's family is I don't give a fuck.
They couldn't be more uninteresting characters.
I just don't give a shit. Especially the brothers. They show them like playing basketball and stuff. I'm just like, I don't care about these kids. Who gives a shit?
It's so scripted. Like every time the dad walked into the room, he's like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" Just a terrible actor. Hey, kid, give me a hug. Come here. I'm your dad. It's like, yeah, no, we know.
This is everything the Costco guys want.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
The Costco guys are watching this going, fuck, how do we get this? Because, yes, they want to script their lives for TV.
And it seems like, here's my main problem, I think, is with someone like Baylen, just make it a comedy. Don't do this thing where you have dramatic music.
It's TLC.
We're dealing with obsessive compulsive disorder. And these tics are more serious than anyone realized. And then you have her going, vagina, fat fuck, you're bald.
Yeah, you're right. Even the little music that I just played in that clip reminds me of Hoarders or Intervention, where you're just like, oh, she can't control herself. It's going to get worse before it gets better kind of thing. You're just like, yeah, I mean, it is, there's a reason why Chris Cuomo had her on the show. It's hilarious.
They're breaking down in the grocery store, but this is a stage trip to the grocery store. They know whether or not she can handle this.
I do have clips about that because they show the reaction shots of the people looking at her like, what did she just say? What's going on? There's a camera crew with lighting.
Right.
You're not like taken aback by her Tourette. You're just like, oh, I guess they're filming something here. They probably had to sign off on something, honestly, if they're being shown on TV.
And it's tough. It's interesting to me because I'd love to talk to Baylen about this at a time where she can talk about it. Obviously, she wouldn't be able to do it now. But, like, I'd love to know do they literally tell her like act? You know what I mean? Because what are the chances? I'm sure there's plenty of times she's been to a grocery store and not had a meltdown. What are the chances the one time she goes for this show, she's like, God damn it! Why can't I not knock down the wheat thins off the shelf?
Well, she literally injures herself in the grocery store because
Yeah.
she's pounding on something and then she hurts her finger and then she cries about it and her mom cries about it in the car. It's a very emotional
It's just
thing
so
that happens.
difficult.
I got to say, if I had a camera crew following me around, the last thing I would do is have like meltdowns.
Well, you need to do that for reality TV. Like,
That's why I'm not a reality star.
Yours would be like it's just so many podcasts. Can they all be bad? How do I tell people how bad this podcast?
Maybe this Tom Myers is a genius. Maybe Clearwater Chad's onto something. I don't know how to. What's my angle here? And
There's an audience for paintball. Damn it!
I'm in the fetal position on my pool table. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. You're right.
And it's the slow version of the WATP theme song.
WATP. It's like in a minor chord.
Right.
All right. Let's get on to something that you pointed out already that I thought was funny on the show.
Slapped all the cereal boxes on the floor. The produce section, I literally have to touch everything. It's really hard because I'm such a textured person. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I have to touch everything. No one normally goes into a store screaming and raining vaginas! Raining vaginas! Raining vaginas!
That was the rule of threes right there. Raining vaginas is funny the first time, but funnier the third time.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think she does that all. She doesn't do that with every tick. There's no way we would have noticed that more.
No, you're right. You're right. And definitely they're editing the fuck out of this, so they're finding the funniest raining vaginas to play.
That was the only thing that like got me through this was her ticks because they would still make me laugh whenever she had a good one.
Yeah, she's still a showman. So let's talk about some things we learned on this episode. We learned that her mother's a stay-at-home mom and her father works for the federal government, and he must have a sweet gig. All he says is I work for the federal government. They're in West Virginia.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He must have a sweet gig because that's a big house with all of these siblings and the mom stay at home. And that's a nice house.
Right.
So I'd love to know what he's up to.
It seems like an incredibly boring family. The father's like, hey, I got a job. Don't mind your business. And the mother's like, I don't do anything. And the kids were all, the one, like, I guess, funny line from the kids was the sister referred to their household as having little dick energy. And then they show like the 11-year-old brother. And I was like, that's an
funny.
edgy line, I guess.
Yeah, she's calling her younger brother out. That's kind of funny. Yeah. I'll give her that. The other thing we learned,
but there's even like with the family, like the little brother is like, we can't even celebrate birthdays because of Baylen.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, she's 21, you're 9. Just do them separately.
Yeah. Just go out with your friends and have a birthday party. But instead, they have to do everything as a family, and they determined that they have to do everything at home because Baylen doesn't do a good job being out in public.
Right.
Which they do end up going out in public, I think, just for the tension and drama at the end of this episode.
Yet with Colin out in public, she was perfectly fine. It's weird how
No, actually, she had dystonic tics. This is something I learned that's brand new. When she was with Colin, they went bowling, and that was their date night. Mm-hmm. And she had this thing called dystonic tics, and they can last for up to 45 minutes, where she was clenching her toes.
Oh, right. She said that was, one of her worst ones.
It was one of her worst tics, and they couldn't get the bowling shoes on her.
Right.
Because she was clenching her toes. Now, I would have just grabbed her fucking foot and straightened it out, like, put on the shoes, bitch. We're bowling now. Now, the funny scene from that whole thing was, and I always hate when I go bowling, if the guy next to me starts going at the same time I do, I'm always like, oh, yeah, you go. I don't want to go at the same time. It's weird. She goes at the same time as the guy next to her and also says, you fucking suck, or something like that as he's doing it.
Yeah.
And they interview that guy. He's just like, I didn't know what she was talking about. I thought that was kind of weird.
Right.
That was a fun moment.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, make it a comedy, and I would have enjoyed it more. But even with that, it's going to be difficult for this show because it's like, is every week just going to be like, here's her having tics at the grocery store. Here's her having tics at the dry cleaners. Here's her having tics at
So let's talk about that. So it can't just be that every week. So what they're setting up is the story arc is all about she wants to get out of her parents' house. She's got it, by the way, something they haven't mentioned yet on the show is that she's a TikTok star and she probably makes a shit ton of money on social media. That hasn't been brought up yet.
Right. That bothered me as well, where they're like, how's Baylen gonna sustain life on her own? It's like she has her boyfriend and she makes a lot of money. So
She might be she might be independently wealthy. She might be able to hire people to go to the grocery store for her. There's also apps that do that, but anyway.
Well, that's the thing is like she has a career. We've seen her on other people's podcasts. I assume she travels for those.
Yep.
Like she does seem independent and successful. So this idea, like, we can't even leave the house because we're all tending to Baylen all day.
Well,
that's not true. We've seen that.
Hold on, Mike. I got to call you on that. I think that Baylen is an issue. And I went into this saying that she's faking all of this stuff. Yeah. And TLC is winning me over. And maybe I'm a simp. But she's at the airport yelling about having a gun because she sees a sign for a gun. Like, that seems, she's not yelling the N-word at black people, but it's up there. It's close to that.
I believe it's real. I think she has some form of Tourette's, yeah.
Okay. And so the storyline they're trying to set up is she wants to move out of her house, and her boyfriend that she's been with for a little over a year is in the Air Force, and he might be relocated. And so they're saying,
quite a cliffhanger they left us.
Yes, we don't know where he's going to go. And he calls up during the birthday party and he says, I don't want to tell you over the phone. We got to get together in person. And I just want to say this to Baylen Dupri, who I'm sure is watching, because I put it out there that we're doing the official after wrap-up show for this. Right. I am not in the military, Baylen. I will not be relocated.
He's a sedentary man.
Yes. If you like West Virginia, that's cool. If you like Western New York, that's fine as well. It's a lot of nice areas in this country, but no government's going to tell me where to go. Sure. I just go where I want to.
That's good. That's good for her to know.
They also did a thing in the beginning where they were putting subtitles on while she was ticking, which I thought was great.
Oh, really?
Yes, more subtitles, because sometimes she mumbles things that are the funniest stuff that she says.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I appreciated that very much. All right. I want to go to a clip where she complains people think that she's faking this for attention. Could you imagine if she was faking this for attention, Mike?
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I think she has Tourette's. I think it's a mix of both. I think she has Tourette's, and I think some of these are enhanced a little bit.
Okay. Let's see what she has to say about this.
And we're putting you in a place of danger.
This is like a test, Faye.
It's all a test.
Cream dick.
It's all a test.
Okay,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, this is where we're seeing reactions from people in the grocery store, which is not a grocery store, but people are looking at her like, cream dick? Whoa, what did you just say?
People have said that I'm faking Tourette's for attention.
Yep.
Why would I do that?
It'd be great if they showed a picture of us.
Yeah, right. People have said, I don't know, people who might look like this have said that. And then she goes, why would I do that? They don't bring up that she has millions of TikTok followers and that she's making a living from social media. But okay. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Why would you do that?
It's like a movie about racism from the 60s.
Right.
Where it's like, you get out of here, you ticking freak. Not in our town.
Would you want to live like this?
We need to see if there's a half a dozen, because I think.
Would you want to live like this? You mean having your own TV show on TLC dedicated to you? Karl's a kook? Yes, I want to live like that.
There is, given the fact that I am cynical about this, I think they did about as good a job as they could of making us think like, it does seem like it kind of sucks, the idea that she's the center of attention wherever she goes. Like, that does suck. They did about as good a job as they could portraying that. To me, that's not a show. I think you could do this with literally any disabled person.
Right.
Like, if you put a camera on me all day, there would be moments where you'd feel bad for me because I bump into something or I drop something or whatever.
Could you imagine? Mike just walks into the wall.
Okay.
Holy shit. TLC, get on.
Hold on.
This is
I'll say it again.
Oh.
Put dramatic music behind it.
oh, now I feel
And
bad
then
for
you'll
you.
feel bad. Now
Oh,
you
no.
feel bad.
Oh, shit. Poor Mike. He didn't see that wall there.
But the point is, I've lived with my disability for 33 years. Baylen's lived with hers for 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not every time you have an incident, you're not like, God damn it! Why me?
You are when the cameras are on, though.
Right. That's the ultimate issue. Is like, you could do this with any disabled person to point out the struggles they go through, but that's not a weekly show. They're gonna have to figure something out.
That's a great point. This is not, and it comes down to Baylen is a young blonde girl with giant boobs. Now she wears baggy sweatshirts, and we need to talk to her about that.
Sure.
We're gonna get some coaching going, but
Season 2.
right, or later this season. I don't know.
Yeah.
The ratings start dipping,
Yeah.
but there's a reason why her disability is more interesting than everyone else's disability.
Right.
That you could have. Real quick, let me acknowledge some people who are here with us. We got 330 people watching us live. Appreciate that on a random late Monday night. Up against the NFL, as Aaron Imholt would say.
Yes.
We're up against it.
Yay, super chats.
Pontiva became a new YouTube member. Thank you very much, Pontiva. Appreciate that. You can always watch bonus shows. I'm doing a bonus show with Dick Masterson tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing a crossover show with him. You'll get the link to that. Davy Cakes, $2. Juicers detect sarcasm. Get squeezed. Oh, shit. OJ Arby's in the house.
I don't want any trouble, gentlemen. Stand down.
Oh. Listen, Davy Cakes, what we say is thank you to OJ. We would be nothing without you.
I made a song for the guy. How much more can I do?
Right. It's a hit, actually. Amanda Lynn Nappy, member for 11 months, says, this is better than NFL playoff game. Darnold is blowing it. Not going to be a win for the toe. Oh, Aaron's going to be upset tomorrow. They're getting their shit pushed in, as he likes to say.
I do have to say, if Aaron wants a way to spin it, it's nice that they don't have to decide between Darnold and J.J. McCarthy now.
That's true.
So just
That's
go
true.
with the kid now. You don't have to.
Yep. Now you don't have to make a decision in the offseason. You don't have to sign a contract. Carl's Frosted Tips coming in.
Blind Mike, this is not over. I will bend you over and give you my juice. Ever had an orange feck you? You're about to.
Oh, no.
OJ is...
I think OJ handled it well. I don't know if he had much choice, but I think he handled it well.
And he's not now. Watch out.
That's too bad.
Well, Juice, bring it on. My asshole is your playground. Bring the potato and Tookie with you, white power.
Mike, it's not like you.
This is getting ugly.
Yeah, it's getting very ugly. Drunk Engineer coming in with $10 says, my wife decided to watch with me and told me I was going to hell for laughing at this poor girl. I think it was about the time she said dick cream in the store, which she couldn't hold back anymore. Yes.
But that's the thing is, like, I guess the message where it's like, people judge me for my tics and people have been mean to me before. So I guess, like, we're pointing a camera at society and saying, like, you shouldn't judge people. That's true for many disabilities, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
But if someone, if an able-bodied, attractive young girl just yells dick cream, vagina, tap that rotisserie chicken baby wieners in a store, your reaction would be, what the fuck? It's not like, oh, there must be something wrong with you. That would actually be insulting if you went to that degree.
Also,
so this is not a societal issue.
Right. Also, isn't TLC My Strange Addiction? Don't they used to have that show too, where that woman like ate her couch.
Okay.
She was like addicted to eating her couch or something. It's like they're not trying to get these people help. The idea they couch this stuff in like, 1 in 160 people suffer from Tourette syndrome and 50% don't even know they have Tourette syndrome. And like, this is a real problem. They try to pretend. Hoarders, I love hoarders. Hoarders do that all the time. They're like, there's 3 million people in America who suffer from this horrible thing where they can't help but hoard. You're just like, yeah, but you're not worried about helping them. You want as many people as possible to feature on seasons 9 through 12.
And Tourette's that struck me too. Tourette's is a funny one to do that with because whatever the number was they threw out, like 30% or whatever the figure. where they were like 30% are undiagnosed cases. Well, that means they're not that bad.
Yeah, right. If you don't know you have Tourette's,
if you're just sitting in class as a child going fuck, shit, cock, balls, they'll diagnose you pretty quickly.
Correct. Actually, one of my favorite podcasters is Adam Curry from No Agenda. He's the podfather. He invented podcasting. He has Tourette's, for real. And I listen to his show twice a week, and you can't tell he has Tourette's. And that's how I know when he says he has Tourette's, he has Tourette's.
Right.
Because you can't tell.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people deal with these things, and they figure out a way to work with it. I Come Buckets $2 says, does she let the puppies out? Thank you, OJ. Not in episode 1.
It's more of a season finale vibe.
Well, hopefully we don't have to wait that long, but it is winter time when they start shooting this.
Damn it.
So hopefully summer comes around shortly. Matthew Raleigh, $5 says, Mike, you don't have to worry about that GD orange anymore. It's taken care of. Don't fuck with our leader, the great blind Mike. Oh, hey, Karl, didn't notice you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Matthew, on Mike's behalf. I Come Buckets $2 says, the Canes are relentless in battle. FOJ. All right.
I think he's fine. I think everything's fine. We can all put down our swords.
I don't think so. I think that this battle is heating up, if anything.
Good.
Rocco Orby 2002 $5 says, please tell me our girl Baylen uttered the mandatory "you name it, I fuck it" phrase. Actually, no. And there is a part in this where she meets with her behaviorist or whatever it is.
That woman should lose her license. Like, she should not be working anymore.
They try to get her to stop swearing.
Yeah.
And I remember when this happened, we didn't know that she had a TV show at the time, but she made this big announcement. Hey guys, I've figured out how to stop swearing anymore. And the technique for that is breathe in through your mouth for 4 seconds, then out through your nose for 6 seconds, and do that 7 times in a row. When you feel the urge to swear. And then she goes, you're cured. I'm like, well, can you just like fix all of her other tics with that too? Or just swearing? Okay.
This woman heard all the rules for when you get the hiccups. And was just like, drink a glass of water and hum the alphabet.
Yeah, say the alphabet backwards. You'll stop ticking in no time. That's funny. All right. Let's skip through to, she's talking about how she met Colin, her boyfriend. They met on a dating app.
Yeah.
And she's talking about why people want to date her.
Wow.
Which I found disingenuous, but we'll see what you guys all think here.
Brent, he's 23. He's in the military. Love that man.
I love getting dressed up for dates,
Doing my makeup and feeling pretty, just like every other girl my age. A lot of people actually didn't want to date me because of my Tourette's.
A lot of people want to date me because of my Tourette's.
I thought you said don't want to.
Oh, okay. Let me back that up because I wrote this down in my notes. I'm like, wait, what? Okay.
I thought you were saying Colin's a saint because most guys.
That would make way more sense. I hope
most guys look at her and think, no thanks.
I hope I misunderstood this.
He's 23. He's in the military. Love that man.
I love getting dressed up for dates,
Doing my makeup and feeling pretty, just like every other girl my age. A lot of people actually didn't want to date me because of my Tourette's.
She says it quick. I think she
slurs
does say
it.
don't. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you'd be annoying, but we'd go out for a couple months.
I think she'd be fun.
Yeah, for a while, for a little while.
She'd be a hoot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then by the 3rd month in, you go out to the restaurant and she's throwing her fork behind her, and I'm like, all right, we gotta go.
Yeah, she should say a lot of people don't want to make a life with me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, actually, that leads me to the question that has been asked of her before, and she always avoids this question, and the producer asked this on TLC, and she finally has to answer it, and it's about her sex life.
Oh.
And how Tourette's... oh, Mike's like, oh, what? And how Tourette's and her sex life work together.
Tippy-tippy-top the wiener, tap the rotisserie chicken. Tippy-tippy-top the wiener, tap the rotisserie chicken. Tippy-tippy-top the wiener, tap the rotisserie chicken.
See, that's never happened before.
Yeah, the 3 times on the tap that wiener. You're right.
That's the specific one that bugged me, where it's like all of a sudden she has to do that in 3s.
God damn it. I need a Baylen historian to tell me, is Mike right about this? Because I know she's talked about having to do things in 3s and having OCD, but
I'll go
you're
back
right.
to the archives.
You're right. Yes, you're right. In this episode, it's everything.
Yeah.
Ever tick. Oh gosh, I know where this is going.
When y'all are being intimate?
So the question is, do you tick when y'all are being intimate? And now Colin's going to answer that question because, listen, we've all wondered this. We're all curious.
Sure.
Does she bite the dick? I think basically the question is, has she ever bit down on the dick?
Even if she hasn't, he is really taking his life into his own hands every time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she might just twist those balls. You don't know what she's going to do.
Do you want me to?
By all means, throw it out.
What?
Do you guys like a demonstration?
Is that a oh, she was joking. Okay. Yeah. No, definitely not. That's ridiculous.
I don't care. What are you going to say?
I was gonna ask if you wanted me to answer it.
Yeah, it's all you. I'm going to hide underneath this pillow. You go.
No, she does not.
Guys, Dad, close your ears.
She does not tick when we are intimate. In that type of environment, she's moment, she's just very calm and relaxed, and so she's not stressed out or anything like that.
Am I?
Mike, we've just discovered the cure for Baylen Dupri. She just needs to be horny.
Well, that's what doesn't make any sense. Is like, so she's never been nervous. Like the first time she had sex, she wasn't nervous. She was like, all right, finally. Finally, I'm at peace.
Right. I honestly, I was kind of hoping that she'd go down to the guy and have some funny quips about the guy's wiener and smacking that wiener. You know, I would expect that.
Right.
But apparently it's all business in the bedroom.
That is like, dating someone on a sitcom and finding out they use their catchphrase in real life, though, you know? Like, oh, okay. Oh, so you do that here, too. Okay. Yeah, dynamite. I get it.
I know. I was trying to think of a sitcom catchphrase, and that was the one I thought of, too, which is 4.5 decades old. Whoa!
70.
Yeah, I know. I probably should have thought of Blossom before I thought of...
Did I do that?
J.J. Walker. Yeah, right. All right. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And, this is just an observation I made. One that Mike probably did not. Ooh. Looking at her sister, younger sister, cute girl. But there's something going on here.
For a little over a year and a half.
All right. So we're seeing her sister now. And she's wearing a sweatshirt. And the collar is pulled up pretty high. And she looks just like a normal gal, 19-year-old girl. All right.
And I do try to come home as often as possible to see my mom and Baylen, but 4 brothers. A lot of little energy in this house.
All right, that was the line you liked. A lot of little dick energy.
Bizarre thing to say. Like, if the brothers were all older, I guess, but they're like 11 and 13.
Yeah, the one kid just turned 10 during this episode. A lot of little dick energy. It's like, yeah, well, I'm prepubescent, sis. Like, give me a break. But anyway, that's not the point of this. Let's keep going.
Is Bay up here?
No, Colin took Bay bowling.
I hope nobody's in the lane next to her.
Have you ever been with her when she's been bowling?
Yeah. At least Colin will be a little bit more of a help.
Does she use those little push things?
She used to. No, she uses the guard. She doesn't use the little dinosaur that you push down. Oh. That's why I said I hope nobody's next to her, because
she just gets more attention with her ticks.
During the prime of Bay's ticks, I think she required the most attention. Easy.
Yeah.
I think it put a little bit of a strain, honestly, on our relationships with mom and dad, though. The doctor's appointments, all the I can't go there because I don't want your sister to be left at home alone.
All right, this is where things start to get serious with the siblings. Mm-hmm. They're like, Baylen's kind of fucked up our lives. And they're like, yeah, but she's a big star on TikTok. They're like, yeah, I know. That's also annoying.
If I gotta say, in Baylen's defense here, if my entire family did an interview where they were like, you know who the real victims are of Mike's blindness? All of us.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
You're all dead. Go fuck yourself.
You're all dead.
Did it bother you? Was it inconvenient for you guys?
Was it bothering you when you were watching the game last night? Does it bother you I couldn't see it?
You cunts.
Go fuck yourself.
You guys had to drive me. You know why that is?
So Baylen's younger sister has this weird thing on her neck, and I have it zoomed in right here. This isn't the one that this isn't the one that I wanted though. Let me see if I can.
Or I don't want, you know what I mean, like stuff. I think
I made this note for some reason.
definitely
I imagine I'm a smart
had
guy.
a little bit of a strain on all of us with mom and dad.
I guess I felt left out a little bit. Like she would go on doctor's appointments with Bay.
Yeah, like we even have to.
Also, they're pretending to have like this sibling conversation where there's boom mics all around the room. There's lights, there's camera guys, there's multi-camera shoot going on. Yeah, you know, it was tough growing up with Baylen. Yeah, this is just a normal conversation that we have around the couch.
Just how we talk.
So we do on the sectional.
Give up going out for birthdays because of Baylen's condition.
I absolutely.
Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the shot that I was looking for. Okay. She's got this weird thing going on her neck, and I'm curious what anyone can tell me what's going on here. It's like a second mouth.
Hickey?
No, it's like one of those things, you know, like when you're a smoker and they have to like give you the hole.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks like a scar from that.
I hope she's all
I
right.
don't know. West Virginia. Who knows?
Her voice sounds a lot like Baylen.
Oh, yeah. And like Baylen, she wears very baggy clothes. So I'm not sure what to think about her.
What's wrong with these ladies?
The jury's out on that one. So, Mike, here's my question to you. Obviously, it's because of you and me that Baylen Dupri is a star on
of course
TLC and has her own reality show.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get woke at his reality show? Because this is all he wants in life.
Oh my God, that would be so
Could
great.
you imagine the TLC episode of Dan Alexander and his trans son?
What would be great is every episode would be like Daniel talking to the cameras doing one of those interviews, and he's like, "You guys just missed it. There was someone at my coffee shop."
They're like, "No, Dad, we've been running the camera the entire time." He's like, yeah, play along. This is my thing that I do. You're right, he'd be busted immediately.
A one-man reality show. I don't think it's ever been done before. That's pretty good.
They would actually have to set up like actors to come in to be like, Dan, I'm thinking about voting for Trump.
Take
do you think
these stickers down.
Are there any reasons that you know of that I shouldn't vote for a conservative for office right now? I'm glad you asked, patron. I Come Buckus $2 says this $2 is an escrow for blind Mike beard trim. Yeah, Mike.
Oh, I need that. Yeah.
You're letting it go.
Yeah, I'm traveling next week. I don't have anything to do this week, so I was like, maybe let it go, but it's getting real scraggly.
Where are you traveling to?
Florida.
Oh, what's going on in Florida? It's a little vacation?
I'm going to Cape Coral. Me and John. Said he had nothing to do. So.
You go to see John perform?
Yeah,
John claims that he's doing a comedy show. I just did Point Dabble Point with not only the great Joey C., but also Clearwater Chad. I was on a show with Clearwater Chad.
That's pretty big. I'm very jealous.
Honestly,
How was
Mike.
it? Did he do his impression?
Dude, can I tell you a story? A little peek behind the scenes?
Please.
Clearwater Chad emails me and Shuli before the show, and he goes, all right, talk to my brother. Here's what I'm thinking. The first hour or so, I'll just be stuttering John. And then an hour or two, I can be Clearwater Chad. You guys can interview Clearwater Chad.
The same guy.
I was just like, so Clearwater Chad gets on the show, and I go, Chad, you know you do the worst stuttering John impression in the history of stuttering John impressions, right? Like, you don't even get the catchphrases right. Like, no one's excited.
Clearwater Chad, when did you get here? You just missed Stuttering John.
Have you guys met? Because you're never in the same place. It's wild how this happens. Anyway, John just posted on social media that he's performing with Ricky Melton on January 17th in St. Petersburg. And he says, use the promo code John. And he's got this poster for this guy, Ricky Melton, who I guess is doing comedy and country songs and stories, and I don't even know.
Wow, Renaissance man.
Right. But then someone, from what I've been told. Someone clicked the link and used promo code John, and it gave them 50% off their tickets. And I'm like, I don't know what to believe now. Is John on this show? I don't know.
He is a real Rubik's Cube, this guy. You never know what he's up to.
Well, anyway.
But like I said, I say this every time it comes up. Don't get his gigs canceled. Right. Record them. Enjoy them. Let us all enjoy them. There's no need. It does us no good for John not to.
We're getting way off topic, but I have the email. So the guy who got John canceled from his charity gig forwarded me the emails he sent to the police department and their responses and their response back and their response back. I'm going to read them all on WATP this week.
Nice.
This person put so much effort into getting John canceled. This is a long email of all the things that John has done and all the reasons why he shouldn't be part of a police department charity event. It's just like, just let him do it.
It's a waste of your efforts, sir. It's the opposite of what we want.
It's the opposite. By the way, it's 27-9 with 6:24 to go in the fourth quarter. The Vikings have definitely lost the game. The question is, can they cover the second half spread that I bet on them, -6? I believe right now they're -1. No, it might be even, actually. They might both have 6 points.
Well, go Rams. So does that mean, would that line up to be Lions, Rams next round?
Who would be the lowest seed? Would it be the Commanders?
Oh, the Commanders would be the... Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Commanders would go to Detroit, and the Rams would go to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And, that's the showdown we all want. Detroit, Philadelphia, and Buffalo, Kansas City, right, guys? That's the one we all want.
I'm rooting for the Bills.
All right, yeah. It's going to be a tough game against the Ravens.
Bills-Lions.
Oh, Bills-Lions would be fantastic. I am rooting for that for sure. Texan Bjornwrong says, you're saying that her dad must be making bank at his government job, but those to say her money didn't buy the house. But who's to say her money didn't buy the house? Well, I think that they grew up in this house before she was making that money, but I guess I could be wrong. Maybe
I don't think Baylen is rich enough to support her entire family. Like, I think she does very well, but
right. I have no idea. I mean, she could be a millionaire. I have no idea.
I think she might be a millionaire, but I'm just saying the idea that she bought a house for her entire family to live in. The mother doesn't have a job. Like, I assume the dad's doing all right. Like, all the kids are young. The oldest one doesn't work, it doesn't seem.
Right.
So Baylen would have to support all of them.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Also, what's the federal government job in West Virginia?
I don't know. I do know that's where Richard Ojeda governed.
But not federal, though,
No.
right? Did he
No. State senator.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's why I'm confused by that. Jimmy's neglected mother, $5 says $5 a steam keeps the beggy monster on leave. Not the beat rhyme. I'm just trying to support the show. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy's neglected mother. I appreciate that. Clearwater Chad is in the chat.
Speaking of the devil.
Coming to Rochester, Lady K. Hey, I didn't mean anything by it, Clearwater Chad.
He's good. That's just like the way John would say it.
Oh, yeah. He's threatening me with violence. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see what Amanda Lanapi is saying.
You two have stolen most of the Viking fans that were watching the game. We'll never make the goal line. Guess I'm bringing in the beggy monster.
Oh, yeah. Aaron does claim that he has a hard time reaching the goal after a loss.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be it.
Oh, it's going to be tough tomorrow morning. I will be tuned in. I will be tuned in to Steel Toe Morning Show.
Aaron, I don't have any money. The Vikings lost last night.
I'm just not in the giving mood today. I apologize. Karl's Frosted Tips again.
Go to meatspin.com to see more of my chest, cockballs, wrencha, white power.
Go to meatspin.com. Says AI Baylen Dupri. There's a first down and more for the Vikings, even though it doesn't matter, but Karl has a bet on it, so I'm still watching it. I did just talk about myself in the third person. I'm not going to lie. Now, I watched the show with my wife. Did you watch it with the skirt?
I did, yes.
Okay. What was the skirt's takeaway on this?
She, like me, seemed nonplussed by the whole thing. There were times where she like kind of felt bad. She's like, "Oh, you got that. You got a few of those." And I was like, "You don't know her like I do. This is all a ruse."
And now, is she familiar with her? Does she listen or watch WATS?
She knows her from WATS. The weird thing was she's never seen a single video of hers outside of like our show.
Right.
But like she's never looked her up on TikTok or anything. And then she went on Instagram and the third video down was Baylen Dupri.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
She's been all over the place lately with this show coming out. I've been seeing her nonstop.
But I wonder like what they're like 90 Day Fiance. I get how it's lasted as long as it has. The Hoarders. I was going to say My 600-Pound Life. I don't know how that's. I don't know how they find enough people for that. But
my wife loves that show. She watches every episode of that.
But those are all like new people every season or every episode or whatever.
Yep.
This is following one girl who does one thing kind of odd. Like, I just don't know what they think they're going to milk out of this as a show. And like another thing that bothered me was the date with Colin, where they're having these conversations that you would have on a first date, not when you've been dating for 2 years.
Like, yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a family, or it's just like,
and I want to whoa, family?
Yeah, that seemed a little staged.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, well, I will tell you, my wife, who's a huge Baylen fan, I said, "What do you think about this show?" And she said, "It's a must-watch."
Oh, shit.
My wife is all in on Baylen Out Loud. I have a feeling that it's already on my DVR. I already have it set up, so we have that going for us. I have a feeling that I'll be watching this entire season. I'm reporting back to you guys.
Well, yeah, what I was going to propose was we watch the rest of the season on our own time.
Yes.
And if we get through it and enjoy it, we do this again for the finale.
Okay. Yes, if it's still compelling and interesting.
Yeah. And if we don't, we just bail on it. No, well, that's fun wordplay, but we bail on it.
Yeah, we bail it on it, yes. All right. I think that makes a lot of sense. I will say TLC did a good job with their editing of hooking you in. I know that if I didn't know who she was and I watched how this show started, I'd be like, okay, I'm interested.
Really?
Yeah, I thought the editing and everything, like, introducing you to the characters and letting you know that they didn't do a good job of explaining she's already a celebrity.
No.
Which must be on purpose.
Yeah, I guess they want you to think she's just a regular,
like they discovered her or something. Like, yeah, we just found this Tourette.
Part of that is the skirt told me when they were at the bowling alley that some guy just had his phone out and was like taking a picture of her or something.
Yeah.
I bet they want you to think that's like, look at the freak. Not, hey, look at the celebrity,
That's a good point. Yeah. She's been on Dr. Phil, Chris Cuomo, which I mentioned earlier. She's been on national news. She obviously has a huge following just from, she was on Sophia with an F.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had people independent of WATS send me like, hey, did you see this girl on TikTok? So like people know her. Like she has a following for sure.
So there's a very good chance that the reason why people are staring and taking photos and things is because it's Baylen Dupri.
Hey, it's Baylen Dupri. Yeah, it's a celebrity.
And they also live in West Virginia in this small town. They're just like, oh, yeah, it's our celebrity that lives here in this little area.
Right. But I think the show wants you to think it's like, look at what she has to go through.
You're right. And she wants attention. That's one of the things they set up early on in the show. They show photos of her when she's like 4 and 7. And she's a card and she's trying to be the center of attention. And the parents even set it up. She's like, oh, she always wanted attention. She always wanted to be the center of attention. And which, by the way, plays into the idea that I've always had that it's all fake.
Yeah.
The fact that she likes this sort of thing. But then
I think there's been
like,
doctors...
oh no, everyone's looking at me. You're like, well, yeah, isn't that what you want? Obviously, you have a TikTok account.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been enough doctors involved that there's something like she has something for sure. I feel like this has kind of been vetted enough. Like, would her entire family go along with this if it was totally fake? Crazier stories have happened before, so it's certainly possible. Right. But I guess my thing is I do think she plays it up, and I don't even blame her for that. I think she's like very smart with it.
She definitely leans into it. It's definitely getting worse for some reason, because let's remember, Mike and I have been covering her for a long time. So we know a lot of the backstory we're not even talking about. She came out and said, yeah, if you knew me in high school, you might say, that girl doesn't have Tourette's. I went to high school with her. I know that girl.
Oh, right.
We had history together and Spanish. She never had Tourette's.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, she had to come out and
hey,
say.
if you've known me at any other point in my life.
She had to come out. And remember, she's only 21. She's only a few years removed from high school. She had to come out and say, like, yeah, I've developed this Tourette's since high school.
Oh,
which is suspicious.
Right.
When she said that, I was like, wait a second. So anyone who's met you in high school would tell us you don't have Tourette's?
Especially when she's been able as a only 21-year-old. High school ends when you're 18. She's 21 now.
Yeah,
and she's been able to like get things under control. So that's unusual.
Yes. It's unusual.
I'm leaning back the other way on this. God damn it.
Well, I know, and that's the thing. TLC convinced me she does have an issue, that some of this is real. I've always thought it's the Eric Cartman episode where he pretends to have Tourette's so he can swear, and then it becomes real, and he starts saying things he doesn't want to say out loud. I feel like Baylen has some of that going on. The OCD might be a thing, but OCD is a weird thing too. I dated a girl with OCD. Yeah, it seems exaggerated. I'm not going to win my bet. The Vikings turned it over on downs, 3:20 to go, 27-9. This was a blowout. It was a terrible game. Aaron is not going to be happy. And
too bad.
It is too bad because we like Aaron.
Well, guys, cheer him up tomorrow. Give $100 and get an autographed Twister in return.
Holy shit. I'm so glad you covered that on Blind Mike Project. His idea that he's going to autograph. Okay. I'll set this up and then I want you to explain something. Okay. So Aaron played Naked Twister. It's a famous story that he told where he played Naked Twister with the Ricadas in April after a coke-fueled going out to the strip club. They came back home and he did another bump and then they're playing Naked Twister. So he's decided, I got a new gimmick to make the goal. I'll sign a game of Twister and for $100 donation, you'll get that. But Mike, explain what has to happen for you to get your autographed Twister game. Do you remember?
You have to send $100. You have to send him your address.
Right.
He's going to go to the store. Overnight mail it to you.
Right.
Which I imagine costs money. So the way I broke it down was YouTube takes 30%. If, like, let's say you super chat, YouTube takes 30% of that. He's paying to ship it overnight. He's paying for the game of Twister. Also, your time and dignity are worth something. So this is basically breaking even.
And what would you do with a game of Twister that's autographed? This isn't something that you frame and put in your game room. It's nothing. It doesn't do anything for anyone.
No, and it's not like Aaron's not a celebrity. Like when I saw Doug Stanhope live, he has a joke about this, and then you can actually buy them afterwards. He has a joke about how he steals Bibles from hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And he'll sign them afterwards and sell them for, it might have been $100. And like, that's a funny item to have on your shelf. To explain to someone, like if you're just like, hey, you know Doug Stanhope? He's legendary comic. He signed my Bible. Like,
oh yeah, the bad version of the Man Show. Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. But Aaron, it's like, oh yeah, no, I listened to a podcast that gets 3,000 views on YouTube, and the guy lost his wife to another man, and at one point they played Twister, so that's up on my mantle here.
Mike, have you heard of Penguin on Max? I feel like there's other things you'd be doing with your time rather than watching this. Steel Toe, you said? What's the name of this?
No, but then I won't know if we hit the goal or not. Don't you understand?
All right, Mike, sit down. we need to talk. I'm very concerned about how you're spending your time right now. He's so, and this is the thing, he's such a narcissist. This whole idea that he wants to fight all of us, and he says like, I'm your white whale, and you guys all want to beat the crap out of me and take me down, and he builds himself up as like this enemy. It's like I actually prefer to clown Opie and John and Patrick Michael, but you're when you beg for money, it's funny too.
Yeah, I know I wasn't involved in that, but I'll just get ahead of it and say, Aaron, you could probably beat me up. That's not what this is about.
Oh my God. I would love to see you in the headgear and everything going on, and you're just facing the wrong direction.
Put up your dukes. Come on.
That would be amazing. Hulkamania with $5 says, we keep getting on about Mike's blindness, but how did his pee-pee work? Yeah, how does his pee-pee work?
No complaints.
All right. The real OJ. Hello, blind Mike. Uh-oh.
Oh,
that's ominous.
Hello, OJ.
Michael P. $5 says, now that I know that she's not an erratic biter, I don't have to watch a single episode. Thanks and go Bills. Michael P., by the way, that was my main question about this.
Yeah.
Is she going to twist it off? Is she going to do something crazy? Apparently not. That's the answer.
It is weird. Colin Quinn had a great joke about how COVID, it spreads unless you're sitting at a table at a restaurant. That's the only time you couldn't have gotten COVID. I guess it's like that with Tourette's, where like as long as you're having sex, you're on home base.
Yes.
You're safe.
If she starts having Tourette's, just grab her tits. She's like, okay, thank you.
Back to normal.
Is he molesting that lady? No. She was having an episode.
He's saving her.
He's doing the right thing. She's about to throw a dozen eggs on the floor. He's doing the right thing. Melissa with a $5 super sticker. Thank you, Melissa. Jimmy's neglected mother $2 says, Bountygate wasn't real. Good job, Rams. All right.
Wait,
Good
how
job,
they connected?
Rams.
Wasn't that Sean Payton? Bountygate.
I don't know.
It's far eastern Dovey, so basically Madaland.
Say that again, Baylen. You said that very quickly.
It's far eastern Dovey, so basically Madaland.
It's far eastern West Virginia.
Oh.
So basically Maryland, I think, is what she was trying to say.
They might also be close enough to DC, depending on where they are, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it is. I always think West Virginia is pretty far from Virginia and DC, but maybe he's driving distance to be
just to get out of the house.
Yeah, maybe he wants to drive forever. I don't know who else. Wow, there's a lot of FOJs going on in the chat. No. Con has it right. Thanks, OJ.
Yes,
we
thank
OJ.
He's a great man. He's done a lot for me, so I wouldn't be so crass about it.
Guys, what's wrong with you? How dare you, FOJ? I'm interested if people watch the show, what they think. Is it a rewatch? Are you going to watch the rest of the season? Are you interested in this? They do a good job with it. I want to get your guys' take. I'll even look at the poor chat, see what people are thinking.
I thought it stunk, but based on Jenny Jingles saying it's a must-watch, I'll rewatch it.
She said it's a must-watch. Well, don't rewatch it. Watch episode 2.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. That's what I mean.
Yeah, see if episode 2 grabs you.
That's enough for me to...
Because there was a cliffhanger. We did have a cliffhanger at the end there.
Oh, what do you think's going to happen?
I don't know, but you know what's really fucking annoying about TLC? The show started at 9:08 and ended at 10:14.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's very annoying. There's got to be some study now that people aren't tuning in right at 9.
Comedy Central was doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Where they were staggering shows. One would start at 14 after the hour, and then 17. And I wonder if that's like a counter programming thing, so that you're watching that, so you didn't watch the show that started at 9. So now you're gonna.
I noticed that if you just DVR every episode of whatever, The Office or whatever, it's like you get the last like 3 minutes of the show before.
Yeah. There's got to be some strategy to it. I don't know what it is, but it's annoying. Rocco Orby 2002 says, I recently saw the Mountain throw 3 guys around inside an MMA cage. Wonder if the toe has this in mind. Well, the toe keeps referring to George Foreman.
That's right, yes.
Just like George Foreman did.
When you guys, unless you were embellishing for effect, but I was listening to you guys on This Little Piggy, and you read the email, and he said it again in the email, like George Foreman style. Like he's very much into this George Foreman aspect.
And I think you said this on Blind Mike Project, if I'm not mistaken, but saying George Foreman, who's a heavyweight champion multiple times, is like when you're playing pickup basketball and you're like, I'm Curry. Yeah, okay. I'm LeBron.
Right.
You're like,
yeah, right.
Like, all right, guys. No one's any of these things.
Yeah.
You're not great. Relax. John's Gippy Halloween at $2 says Wings win 7 straight, and you're on the wagon. I see you, Karl. I met John's Gippy Halloween hand in Detroit, and go Wings. I'm wearing my Red Wings shirt, although this is the Rochester Red Wings baseball team. But the Sabres suck, so I'll root for the Wings. I'm fine with that. Let's see what Amanda Lynn Nappy has to say.
Hello, Mike. Me and my wife are about to pull up in front of your house. My wife is going to knock on your door while I yell instructions to her. Make sure you have an Amazon package on your porch.
I've heard there must be a TikTok trend or something going around. I've heard that.
Well, Joey C did that.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Joey C about that on the show tonight. I didn't understand what his end game was.
I'm sure he had a cogent answer.
No, it was way worse.
Oh, damn.
Not only did he stop by John's house at like 5 or whatever time he stopped by John's house, but he went back at midnight.
Why?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, what? And he goes, yeah, and I could see John get up from his bedroom and walk over to the front and peek through the window at us. I was like, what are you doing?
That's just crazy behavior.
Yeah, don't go to people's houses at midnight. Why would you do that, Joey?
Did he have any interaction with John?
No. He left a note, and then John called him the next day, and Joey had a phone conversation with John that he didn't tell us about. I guess he was saving that for the Joey C show.
Well, time well spent.
I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what was going on. All right, chat, did you watch the show? What did you guys think about this episode? Karl, you can develop Tourette's later on in life, you fucking asshole.
Oh, see? There's proof right there.
That's fun.
That's horrifying. That means it could happen to any of us at any moment.
Someone says Karl is too weird with the Baylen adoration. Creepy older uncle vibe. Am I too old for Baylen Dupri? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Watching this was plenty. I understand. I'm hoping for a beach episode. All right. I'm not alone.
That's the big reveal.
Yeah, imagine like he moves to Hawaii with being in the Air Force. All of a sudden, the season gets way better.
I like the idea of someone watching this on TLC and being like, this girl should be on TikTok. And they look it up and it's like, oh, she's already really famous.
Yeah. It's actually more entertaining on TikTok than she was on this show. Karl, anything is better than Mike Morse. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Karl's frosted tips.
I like him starting that with Karl, like, hey, let's just cut the bullshit and let's all agree it's better than watching Mike Morse.
Fair enough. I'll agree with you on that. Well, Mike, final thoughts. Was this a bad idea that we watched this show and did a wrap-up show?
I think we kind of had to. Like, if any of these guys, if Woke Dead or Delete Laws or John Cirasani,
that's our DeCastro TV show.
That'd be great. He could replace. I think we're at a place in this country now. Like, they canceled Live PD and Cops.
I was just gonna say that's the move from the makers of Cops. This is how they win over the left crowd that deserted them. From the makers of Cop, we have Delete Laws.
You know what you do? Did you ever watch Live PD?
Yes.
So I used to love it. And it was basically NFL Red Zone mixed with Cops.
Yeah.
And what you do is you put Chili DeCastro behind that desk instead of Scott Abrams or whatever his name was.
Wow.
That's great. We got to get this back on the air.
As long as he doesn't end up in prison for any reason, this is going to work out perfect. Chili, you called out a judge again? God damn it.
Chili's return to Hollywood.
Yes, that could be that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
All right. New thing, guys. Everyone we talk about WTS, we need to develop a TV show for. I know it seems like a big task. I think we can do it.
I mean, that one just fell into our laps.
We all combine forces.
Yeah.
I think we could pull this off. So, overall, it was the reality show I thought it would be. I'm not a reality show guy.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the various angles they had going. I thought it was going to be too emotional, and it was.
Yeah.
The mom
That's
breaking
something,
down.
if it wasn't, if I didn't know who Baylen Dupri was, that's something that only would have been on my TV because the skirt was watching it. And every once in a while, I would have looked up from my phone and gone, when she ticks. And that's about it.
Right. Yeah. If it had been, now, if they had started off, and I realize they had the emotional element going, but if they had just started off the show showing her saying, put the ranch down and wind it up.
She's got a bomb in the airport.
yeah. And all over fun ticks, I'd be like, this is the star that we're watching right now. But instead, it was like her brothers and her birthday parties and
bad character. Maybe we need a crazy friend that she has, or a guy in a wheelchair she can push around or something. Like there needs to be someone other than her that's a little wacky.
Oh my gosh, you're right. We need the wacky neighbor.
Right. Yes.
Who's had?
We need her
enough,
Kramer.
Yeah. Who's had enough with her antics? It comes over just like, you know what Baylen did? He called my wife the C word 7 times.
Oh, yes, like an old curmudgeon neighbor. yeah,
right.
That I like. Yeah.
Yeah, she can't help herself. That she's like chucking eggs at their house.
I'll get you, Dupri.
Rocco Orby 2025 bucks says delete laws would have been good for a Reno 911 episode. Yes.
Oh, that's also great.
He'd be the perfect foil for Reno 911.
Yeah. Just tell him it's a dramatic role, and I think he could have pulled it off.
Yeah, he wouldn't have known any better. It's a great idea. All right, I'm ready to wrap it up. Fantastic wrap-up show, our best yet.
Yes, absolutely.
Our best wrap-up show ever, Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm proud of us. People said we couldn't do it. A lot of chatter online saying these guys are going to do a wrap-up show. What do they know about wrap-up shows? And look at what we did.
No chance,
clips.
they said.
We played clips. We summarized things. We gave opinions.
Proved America wrong.
Yet again. Mike, blindmike.net is where you want to go to find all things Blind Mike.
Yep. All my links are there for Why You Laughing, Blind Mike Project, and Who Are These Socials? And you can subscribe on Patreon or YouTube and become a member. Richard Pryor is the next episode of Why You Laughing, which is a great. I love that episode because we only really talked about his life. We didn't even get into his career because he lived such a crazy life. So
his life is
check that episode out. Yeah. And then the downfall of Jimmy Kimmel after that, I think a lot of you guys will enjoy. A lot of Howard Stern stuff incorporated in there. So keep an eye out for that as well. blindmike.net.
That is awesome. And of course, Who Are These Podcasts? I'm doing a bonus show with Dick Masterson. We'll probably be going over the Fierce Fatty again. I already messaged him about revisiting her. So that's going to happen if you're on our Patreon or YouTube channel. We'll be doing that live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Or anytime thereafter, if you can't listen or watch at that time, it'll be up there for you when you are a subscriber. Patreon.com/WhoAreThesePodcasts. And of course, you want to go to Hackamania, May 9th through 11th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP is where you want to go to see us live. And there's going to be a lot of podcasts live, including The Creep Off, Nobody Likes Onions, Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve, Biggest Problem in the Universe, This Little Piggy. I'm doing too many shows out there. It's too much.
Promo code CUM.
No, that's not the what the? Who told you that?
That's what I thought it was, no?
The potato tell you that?
That's just the way I've heard. The buzz.
All right, let's get out of here.
Have the day you deserve.
Anyway, social media, I'll catch you later, man.
Who are these socials?
That's what this audience wants to hear. Like, whoa!
Who are these socials?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Folks, what you were about to see is real.
With Karl.
Okay, we got it.
And Blind Mike.
Who could have thought?